What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Zach and Pat Show. I'm Zach.
I'm Pat.
This is the show about manhood, fatherhood, entrepreneurship, and the mentality it takes to be successful at those things. And we'll probably sprinkle in some helpful real estate advice too, because that's what Pat and I do. You know, guys, life can be tough, and we can go through some things and struggle at times, but this is the show to let you know that you're not alone. So if you're someone out there going through any of these things, this is the show for you.
All right, guys, let's talk about something we all need. High quality, comfortable, stylish clothing that actually holds up in real life. Whether you're grinding at work, hitting the gym, or just hanging out, the Normal brand has you covered. I've been rocking their gear, and let me tell you, it's not your average clothing line. They've nailed it perfect with the perfect blend of durability, comfort, style, whether it's a go-to rugged Henley, a hoodie, a button-down that doesn't make you feel like a stiff, the Normal brand is where it's at. The best part is you can support the show while upgrading your wardrobe. Just hit the link in the description below. Check out their collection. Trust me, once you try it, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. The Normal brand. Made for real life, built to last. Now go check them out.
Shout out to our friends over at Captain Beard Co. Guys, if you are looking for beard care products, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, give Captain Beard Co. a try. They have this unbelievable beard butter, balm, oils, and then it smells amazing. Ladies, if you're looking for something for your men as a gift to help with their grooming, check them out. Also, if you guys are looking to just set the mood one night, candles, unbelievably smelling candles, made with all natural ingredients here locally to St. Louis. Give them a shot. Also, while you're there, use the promo code Zach and Pat for 10% off your purchase.
Hey there, guys. We really appreciate you checking out the Zach and Pat Show. If you can obviously tell, we are a newer podcast, but one way we're really trying to grow the show is trying to get up the amount of subscribers we have. So, if you're watching the show and you're getting something out of it, we'd really appreciate it if you could click that subscribe button. That would help us out a ton. Please click that button. And now back to the show.
We have a very special guest in studio today. He is the owner of Big Ben Landscaping and Big Ben Pools, the great and powerful Joe Francke.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, sir? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Happy to have you here. If you could just tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
So Joe Francke, owner of Big Ben Landscaping. I'm originally from Kentucky, so I moved here back in 2016. Took a job at another hardscape company. That's kind of what brought me here. I worked there for a few years, kind of built up their hardscape division over there. And my cousin and I, who originally was a business partner at Big Ben Landscaping, came over here. Pat was the owner and founder of Big Ben Landscaping originally. Started back in 95. Excuse me. And we kind of knew we were going to, take over for him. So we had a little plan in place, worked through that for a couple of years. We brought our whole team, hardscape team, with us. And in 21 bought them out. Okay. So we've been running it since 21, just kind of building it up, man. Putting our own touches on it.
Yeah. Now, I've never heard the term hardscape before. What does that mean?
Yeah. Oh, good question. So hardscaping is more on the construction side. More on like the walkways, paper patios, retaining walls, fire pits, fireplaces, like natural stone edging. So people hear Big Ben Landscaping, and they're like, hey, you guys do plants. You guys do mulch.
You cut the grass for us?
Yeah. Get that all the time. Which it's not really what we do.
Okay.
So more on the construction side. Hardscaping's, again, anything stone related. We can do plans. If it's part of the big scheme of things, we can, but we don't go out looking for that.
Your big is hardscaping.
Yeah.
And pool. Well, and then you got the pool side of it.
We're doing the fiberglass pools.
Yeah. How long have you been doing the pool stuff?
We worked with another company here as a sub for a couple of years. Couldn't really get out of their own way.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of running the show anyways for them.
So you're like, why don't we just do it?
Why don't we just do it?
Yeah.
So, we got their sales guy.
Okay.
Brought him over. He's a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
He knew me. He knew Pat very well. And we've been doing it a little over a year.
Okay.
A year and a half. Yeah. In-house.
Very cool. I'm sure, you always hear people trying to get pools put in and how backed up things are. I'm sure you guys are probably making pretty good money off of the pool side of things and staying busy.
Yeah. We're fair.
Yeah.
We're fair. What we offer, what I think is cool and what we kind of like pride ourselves on is we're that one-stop shop. Most pool companies come in, they dig the pool, leave, come back, set the pool, leave for a couple months. come back plummet. And they work with another hardscape company like myself to do all the stuff around it. Come in, pour the concrete. They need a retaining wall to do it. Or we can come in, we'll design it. We file the permits for you. We have the same crew that digs the pool, that installs the pool, does all the hardscaping. They never leave. So they're there from start to finish. So typically a pool install, ask around, most people say, yeah, it took 4 or 6 months. We're in and out in 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So it's a much quicker process. It's cleaner. They're getting used to seeing the same people every day. Don't have to worry about who's showing up when. They know who's showing up. Get comfortable with the guys. Get comfortable with myself, my operations manager. So yeah, kind of take them for the ride.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. So what did you do before? Like so you had the opportunity with your uncle, you said, or is it Pat is your uncle? No,
Pat's just, Pat was just another, he just owned another company in the same industry.
Got it. Okay.
Now, we didn't know Pat well before we came over.
Got it.
Pat had a really good name, Big Bend Landscaping. Everybody kind of knew what it was, knew who they were. People knew Pat. But no, we worked for somebody different before. And Pat was just ready to get out of the game. He didn't want to be on the front end anymore.
Got it.
So it was a good fit. Pat's still with us.
Yeah.
He's my CFO. He's a mentor of mine. Very close. His wife Dee used to watch my kids every day. He's like family. He's like my family here.
That's awesome.
But he was done dealing with people.
Sure. Yeah, I get it.
He wanted to be behind them.
Yeah, it's a relationship business.
It is, man.
Yeah. So speaking of relationships and all that, how do you intentionally build them in your business and make them last? Yeah.
Well, something my grandfather told me a long time ago, man, and I tell everybody this story. I was 15, 16. He was an entrepreneur himself. He owned several carpet businesses throughout the Southeast. And he said, Joe, business, he's an old swaggy guy. Business is all about relationships. And for whatever reason, it always stuck with me. So I mean, you get what you put out. You let people around you know that you love them. You show it. You don't just say it. You show them every day. You do what you say you're going to do. Take care of them. They're going to take care of you. I'm big in transparency. You're not always going to give everybody the answer they want to hear. If you shoot them straight, people respect that in the long run.
Absolutely. Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Well, what was like the moment that you kind of realized that you weren't like exactly built for the 9 to 5 and you wanted to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the one grandfather, both my grandfathers were entrepreneurs. One was in real estate, kind of like you guys. The other one was, he had carpet businesses in Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, down in the Southeast. So, growing up, you always say, oh yeah, I want to own my own business. Everybody says that, right? Sure. So I always had that in the back of my mind. I went to school for business. I got my degree in business management. I didn't know what type of business. Yeah, me either. Mm-hmm. But I always kind of knew I wanted to do my own thing. So I was a manager of a restaurant through college. Got out of school, went and worked at a Jimmy John's. Yeah. As an assistant manager. And one of my grandfathers, my dad, my uncle, Jimmy John's is wild, man. You gotta have a lot of stuff.
Freaky fast.
They're freaky fast. Yeah, they're freaky in a lot of ways. No, but you gotta have like 2-3 million in assets to start your own Jimmy John's. All this. So we went up to Champaign, Illinois. Kind of went through that whole process. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do all that. So, my cousin, who I was talking about earlier, was my business partner for a while.
Oh, okay. So that's where I got it mixed up. Sorry.
Yeah. His mom and my mom are sisters.
Got it.
His mom got stage 4 glioblastoma, brain cancer, 12, 13 years ago. He's from here. He's from St. Louis. So he moved to Louisville. She wanted to be around her siblings because she thought she didn't have much longer to live. So he made the move up there with her. She got on a trial. She's still with us today. God willing, a blessing. But he moved up there. We wanted to do our own thing. He kind of knew, he had the hardscape background here. So we started our own landscaping company there called Family Landscaping.
Okay.
And we were landscaping. We're like, chucks in the truck. Go out to sell the job. 3 days later, we go put it in the ground. We're just hustling. And we grew that up for a couple of years. We made something of it, which was good. And then, he still had connections back here. So one of his buddies here, the company he's working for, they were opening up a hardscape division, and they wanted people who kind of knew hardscape. So John was, he knew it. I'd been in it for a couple of years. Long story short, in 2015, we both interviewed. He took it. He moved back. I kind of bought him out of our company there in Louisville. And then spring of 16, we got back together, kind of renegotiated. I made a pretty quick move. And then once we were building the hardscape division at that company I moved here to work for.
You moved here from Kentucky.
From Louisville. Yeah. Louisville, Kentucky. Yep. We were basically running that division anyways. So we knew, there were some fishy things going on over there. We knew we wanted to get out. We'd already kind of running that side of the show anyways. We're like, let's go do it for ourselves. So we talked to a few companies, ended up obviously here with Pat, Big Ben, and it's worked out. I mean, it worked out how it's supposed to be, for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, it's got to be, a difficult decision to decide to just move to a completely different state.
Yeah. Well, at the time, no kids, no wife.
Okay.
That played a role. The year before wasn't the case.
Right.
So, yeah, you bet on yourself. I'm a big advocate for that, man. You're confident, go out and give it a whirl, man. You have to.
For sure. You guys, sometimes you just got to bet on yourself.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What have some of your toughest leadership failures taught you about yourself?
Being a business owner, pros and cons, man, but you have to know that you're not the smartest guy in the room. You walk in with a big head, boastful, thinking you know everything, how to do each thing the best. You're not going to get very far. So it's taught me humility for sure. It's taught me a lot of patience. I'm always learning, but more than anything, we talked about it earlier. Business is all about relationships. I sell hardscape. You guys go out and sell homes and, futures and that kind of thing. You have to have that relationship no matter what you're selling, no matter what it is. You got to let people know you care about them. I think that's big. If you know them for 10 minutes, you know them for 10 years. You got to build a relationship with them.
Yeah, man, you got to be a professional friend maker.
100%.
I think that's a big piece of just about any business that, if you're good at that, I mean, that's a great start.
Yeah.
And I think you spend a lot of time in the restaurant industry just like I did. And I think that's like that. I always say that kind of helped train me for kind of what I do today.
No doubt.
Because it's like, you got to go up and make a conversation with a perfect stranger,
Yeah.
20 times a night,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. And like, that's a great practice for, for life, honestly.
100%.
Like just being able to go up and not just, walk up to the table with your head down, but like actually go up and be engaging and like ask them, like try to, and you catch vibes. There's some people who don't want to talk, but then there's other people who you can actually like create relationships with, and the regulars and all the people. Like, I think I learned so much from being in the restaurants and that like I still use today.
No, 100%. You got to be there anyways.
Yeah.
Why not make a friend?
Like, why not make a friend? Yeah. Have fun. You never know.
Yeah.
Like you never know what that relationship could turn into. I had, had a lot of opportunities in high school that like, from meeting people that I waited table, or I was a busboy in high school, but like, and a cook, but like I used to know all the people there because my mom worked there too. And then, I remember getting opportunities to like, go. I remember one time I valeted for these family that came in all the time, and it was like his 60th birthday party. And we always kind of knew they were pretty well off. And then they asked me and like one of the other guys that worked there to like come valet for their 60th birthday party. And like, we show up to this big, beautiful house in Sunset Hills. And like, all I'm doing is the people are pulling up to the car and I'm jumping in like all these like really nice, like BMWs and like,
stuff you're not used to.
Cadillacs and stuff. I'm like a 16-year-old kid and all I got to literally just drive it down the block and park it on the next street over.
Yeah.
Like, but it was like, and they ended up like paying us a few $100 for the night. And I was like, this is amazing, like cool little opportunities like that from just being friendly.
You don't know.
When you're a kid in high school, like it was cool. And like I had a ton of opportunities like that. Like, that all stemmed from being in the restaurant.
You can never have too many pipelines.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you don't know what pipelines each person you come in contact can open up for you, So, yeah, I mean, you guys, you're not going to everybody you guys talk to sell home.
Yeah.
It might, who knows how long that relationship's going to last, right?
Oh, 100%.
You might not sell them their home or sell them a home, but they might refer you to their brother,
Exactly.
their cousin. You know what I mean? Same here with us. I go on 12, 14. I meet 12 to 14 new people a week. And I might, I got like a 35, 40% closing ratio. So those 7 to 8 to 9 that I don't close every week, I don't treat them any different than I do the other 6 to 8 or 3 to 4, So yeah, you got to treat people, man. We all have kids,
Yeah.
You got to treat people like you want somebody to treat your kids, or treat your mom,
I don't know. My mom's a mean lady. She can.
Hey, tell me about it, man. I got a Kentucky mama. Strict.
Oh yeah. But no, I mean, you couldn't. Yeah, I mean, the name of the game is relationships, and I mean, for me, like that's the thing that's how Zach and I started this. It's stemmed from a mutual client that he was working with that got referred to me by a financial advisor, and here we are 5 years later.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you never know.
Right.
Crazy how it worked out.
Right.
Yeah.
That one deal sprung us into all of this.
All this. Yeah.
So
coolest podcast for a minute.
Yeah. Hey,
that's right.
Tell Corey that.
Yeah. We made it our own. We got another badass picture coming here. Probably be here next week that we're excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
The secret?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be. It's a goofy one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We honestly, it's pretty funny, but that'll be here next week. So, but
Check it out.
let's talk about fatherhood. How has what you've learned as an entrepreneur, or what taught you about raising kids, and vice versa? What have your kids taught you about running a business?
Well, we've talked about this months ago out there. There's nothing better than being a dad, man.
Yeah.
There's really not. Something our family, like, I told you earlier, my cousin and I's first business was family landscaping. Our roots run deep was our motto. And it's just how we're raised, man. Family's everything. I would call it a later in life dad. I wasn't a dad till I was 33. Always wanted to be one, just, I had my fun beforehand. Yeah. No, man, being a dad's the best thing in my life for sure. It's second to being a husband, obviously, but business ownership, being a father, patience. If there's one thing I can put into both of them, it's you got to be patient all the way around. You got to have that, talking about relationships again. You got 2 boys. You got different relationships with each one. Same thing, me. I got 3 kids.
Yeah, 2 boys.
2 boys. You got to let them know you love them. Just like I let my employees know I love them. Until every second Friday we have a meeting in here, I tell my people I love them. All my kids, I don't leave the room without telling them I love them, So patience, being forthcoming with your emotions, I think that's big, especially as men. I think, we're supposed to be big, tough, quiet, get the job done. That's not me.
No, that's in the past, we've seen a big shift in that. I've seen, hey, men are the strong men are the ones that are in touch with their emotions.
I agree.
Their EQ is starting to outweigh their IQ and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I mean, you couldn't have said any better.
Yeah. Tell them every day you love them, man. Not trying to be doom and gloom on here, but you never know, man.
Right.
I've seen a lot of close people in the last 4 or 5 years go through some heartaches, man. You don't ever know what's going to happen out there. So just, let your family know you love them every day. Let your kids know you love them. There's nothing better, man. Every time I walk in that door, my 2 little ones run up. Daddy, and that's the best part of my day every single day.
Yeah.
So.
And what are their ages?
JJ Junior's 2, going to be 3 in June. Atlee's birthday was yesterday. She's 4. And Lucas will be 8 in July.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah. So across the board, boy, girl, boy.
Oh yeah, we're debating on the third. Well, me and my wife go back and forth right now about wanting another one.
Yeah.
If we want to stay with 2, or she wants she wants another, and I'm like, I think 2's good. But
How old are they?
3 and about to be a year.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow, I can't believe it's almost a year already.
Yeah, it'll be a year in June. Yeah, so
crazy.
It'll be 1 in June. So
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy.
Well, it was a big jump for us, 2 to 3.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
that's what I hear.
I wouldn't go back, but yeah, once you're outnumbered, man, it's a little different.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
it's
So
a
I'm like, I don't know,
big
man.
jump.
Like the two, we kind of got this figured out. We got
Yeah.
it ain't broke. Why are we trying to fix it?
So my oldest, I'm not his biological father.
Okay.
You know, I came into his life very young in his life, so I mean, he doesn't remember life without me. But he's got a dad. He's got a great dad, very good dad to him. But when he goes there, and there's only two, it's even though it's just one out, and he's the easy one. He's the eldest.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Even when the good one leaves,
Yeah.
you know, going from 3 to 2, it's you can tell the difference.
The good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
The good one.
The easy one.
Yeah. Man, that's
Well,
crazy.
What have you noticed the difference in from being like a stepdad to your oldest to being dad to your youngest? Is there a difference?
Yeah, I think there's a difference. Not in a bad way at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when I met Lucas, it's my oldest.
Okay.
After me and his mom had dated a few months, I mean, I knew right away. You know what I mean? Like he and I had a connection.
Mm-hmm.
He was my little buddy. You know what I mean?
How old was he when?
He had just turned 2,
Okay.
like the week before. Now is it different with like Atlee and JJ? Yeah, but I don't know. I really can't put a finger on why it's different.
Mhm.
You know, Luke is my son. I'll tell you,
Right.
I got 3 kids. He's my boy. You know, out there throwing ball with him every day. You know, it's no different.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's a difference there that I can pinpoint. There is a difference, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
Gotcha.
You know,
Maybe just because he's older.
yeah, he's older
He's
now.
older now.
Yeah, Atlee and JJ, they don't, you know, it's different when you call you daddy. You know what I mean? Like you're running in the room, but like Lucas is my guy.
Yeah.
You know, so they're all 3 awesome. They're all amazing.
So how do you go about teaching, or like how will you go about teaching like discipline and stuff like that to your kids?
Patience again.
Patience.
You know, sitting them down. I'm big on eye contact.
Yeah.
You know,
100%, man.
I
That's
can
what I'm
yell.
working on with my
It's tough.
3-year-old right now. I'm like, yo, look at me. Come
Yeah.
on, hey.
Mhm.
You know, like, hey, like old, you know, we live at the bottom of a cul-de-sac, or we live in a cul-de-sac at the bottom of a hill, and you know, there's 4 houses of kids, and like everybody plays together
That's
from
awesome.
5 to 8 p.m. every night. We're out in the
Dude, that's
cul-de-sac.
awesome, though.
It's amazing. It's awesome. It's so fun. But you know, everybody's bringing all these toys out, and they fight over who wants this and that, and you know, obviously these 3 years old, and you know, they throw tantrums and stuff, and you know, like the other night, you know, he's being a little jerk to this little girl, and I pull him to the side. I'm like, hey, look at me. Hey, you know, come on. You know, like you're not in trouble. Let's go talk. You know, and it's like, but just like trying to get him to like look. Hey, no, look at me. It's like it's difficult. The eye contact
it's
with
big.
a 3-year-old is it's
Yeah,
hard.
it's hard not to yell across the street. Yeah, believe
Yeah.
me, it's still, I don't get it right every time. But
Oh yeah,
But
none of us do.
I think we're kids, man. Kids don't want to disappoint you.
Yeah,
That's
Right.
what I've learned, man. Like the fact that you're mad at them is almost more than spotting them on the butt or, hey, you know, they don't like to disappoint you.
Right.
So sitting them down, calm down a little for a second, look me in the eye, we'll get it pointed across, come back. You're going to have to tell them again 10 more times, but
Right.
you know, but patience for sure. That's the, in my opinion, the big thing about fatherhood, man. You gotta be patient with them. Again, let them know you love them every day, as much as you can, but being patient. You know, if you're a hothead, your kid's gonna grow up and be a hothead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I've seen it
Right.
firsthand.
If there's one personality trait, characteristic, mentality, something from you, what is the one thing that you want your kids to inherit from you?
Kindness.
Huh.
Kindness. I think the way you treat people is the most important trait you can have.
Mm.
You know, yeah, being kind goes a long way, especially in today's world, man.
For
You know,
sure.
it's cruel out there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
whether it's something you're watching on TV or their phones or tablets or, you know, getting into school and people are, you know, other homes aren't like your home,
Mm.
you know, the verbiage is different, you know, teaching patience and kindness is, in my opinion, the most important thing.
And understanding, that's a big one from
Yeah,
what we're preaching with our kids right now.
sure.
So
Yep. How are your boys?
5 and 6.
5 and 6. I know
Yeah.
they're closer to Luke.
Yeah.
Well, with going back to the landscaping and pool building stuff, have you? What's like the craziest, sketchiest project you've ever had? You ever done anything like
Sketchy.
just wild,
Yeah.
crazy?
Yeah. We had a machine stolen off a job site once.
Whoa.
Oh shit.
Yeah. That was at the old company.
Like was it like a
Bobcat.
Bobcat?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
Yeah. So $60,000
Yeah.
piece of machine. You know, I try on the front end not to ever send my guys to sketchy places.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I've gotten more comfortable as the years go on, saying, "Hey, it's not a good fit."
Yeah.
I always try to find a referral for them if I tell somebody that, but try to keep them out of rougher areas,
Sure.
high traffic areas in our field. You know.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. More people around, more opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, like 7-8 years ago, we were in a part of town that wasn't great,
Okay.
and we knew it. And we did all the necessary things. We locked it up, took the keys with us. I still to this day don't know how they got it.
Oh, the
I don't know what
keys-
they did with it. You can't you got to have a certain trailer to pull it away.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They just drive it. I mean, yeah, the keys weren't in it. I mean, were they hot? Can you hot wire a Bobcat?
That's not my forte, but I guess. Yeah.
I guess so.
They figured a way. Yeah. And I don't know where it went with that because that was before it was my company. So I don't know if insurance came in or what. But yeah, that was probably the worst. And we knew kind of going in it was going to be a little sketchy. It was a referral. It was for like another property management company. So like the homeowners weren't our customer, or the future homeowners was not our customer. But yeah, it was probably the worst job site if I can remember.
Damn. Well, do you have one that you would say is like maybe not your favorite, or one that you're like after you were done with, like, man, I'm super proud of this one?
Yeah, there's a few. One in particular, and they're awesome husband and wife. We ended up doing a patio for their other daughter, but customer of ours, their daughter committed suicide, and we came in. It was within the year, so it's still very fresh. And the wife, which I won't say their names out, but obviously still very emotional about it. And they didn't have bukus of money or anything like that, but they wanted a space to dedicate to the daughter because it was at their home, right out back on their patio where it happened. So long story short, we designed something up, little deck above, patio below, and she liked birds or something. She liked mockingbirds or something like that. I can't remember the details of that, but we did a paper patio for him. In the middle, the mom gave us an emblem of a mockingbird. So, in the middle of their patio, yeah, essentially, there's a mockingbird, and turned out to be, looks neat. I still got pictures. But we stayed in contact with them. They host a little ice cream thing at their house every year, to raise money for suicide awareness and that kind of stuff. We go see them every year for the last 4 or 5 years. Take my kids out there. We get ice cream with them. They got a good turnout. We got hundreds of people that come to their house and go back on the patio. It's a cool deal. But if I had to pinpoint one that I'm most proud of, it's that one. Awesome. We worked with them, with pricing and that kind of stuff. And it's just, it was a cool project for 2 really good people. And, has a lot of sentimental value.
Sure. No, it's amazing.
That was cool.
Love that. Yeah, be a part of something like that and give them something that they have there forever it's awesome.
Yeah, turn a negative into a positive as much as you can.
Yeah,
tough situation.
Now, what's the most extravagant project that you've done, or you're like, damn, because I know that shit, like retaining walls, those things are gonna get big and they're expensive, and especially like when you're now adding in a pool, stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a few. There's definitely a few.
Do you like that design aspect of it?
Yeah, I mean that's the fun. To seeing the transformation is like what is exciting to me.
Sure.
As we've gotten bigger, I'm not out in the field every day anymore. I got operations manager now that kind of goes to the job sites, checks on the crews, talks to the homeowners. So I don't get to see it like the progression as much as I used to, which that part stinks because that's what I like to see. Kind of before and afters, but no, I mean, we've done some pretty wild jobs for sure, like on sides of hills where you need 2-3 tiers of walls and patios, different levels, where access is a little feisty, guys are like, I'm not doing that. I'm here to that.
You're doing it.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out. We're here. So there's a few I can name. You know, we do anything from $5,000. I think our most expensive job's like $295,000. So we're kind of all over the spectrum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Depending on what they want. But yeah, like I come in, I do the designs, like I do the CAD work. So to answer your question, yeah, do I like doing the CADs? Yeah, but that's by far the most time consuming.
No, I'm sure.
Part of my job.
Yeah.
So if there's any designers out there looking for a job, that's the hard part, man. Turning the keys over to somebody else.
Sure.
You know, I've been the only one who's done the CADs and stuff for us since I started this. So
What's CADs?
it's like I'll go out and take pictures and all that of their home, and I have a program that I can build their house and build the patio or build the pool on there to kind of give them a visual, like walkthrough effect of what it can look like.
Got it. Okay.
But showing people, I can show people way better than I can explain it to them. You know, I can walk out in their backyard and be like, "We're going to put this here," and they're like,
so you show them that picture. And
yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah. This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. The CADs help. They go a long
sure.
way for sure.
Yeah.
But
makes complete sense.
they're time consuming.
Well, if you weren't in landscaping, what do you think you'd be doing?
I don't know, man. You know, I've been doing this for 13, 14 years now. I shadowed some people right before John and I, my cousin, started up our family landscaping deal in Kentucky. I shadowed a couple like pharmaceutical reps. My mom's been a nurse for 35 years, so I had a couple ends there. So I shadowed a couple of farm reps, like mechanical reps, you know, that are in the operation room, that kind of thing. So I was getting real serious with one of those offers before this still. My cousin, give you a backstory there. My cousin's been like my best friend my whole life. Like we were raised up as brothers. We kind of grew up in my grandma's house. So when my aunt got sick, it was an excuse for him to move there. Excuse for us to do something together. So once that opportunity came up, like I jumped on it quick, you know. So, but I don't know. I really don't. You know, I could say pharmaceutical reps or something like that, but I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know what I'd be doing either, really, man. If I wasn't doing this, like,
How long you been in it?
6 years. No, like I don't.
How old are you?
32.
32.
Yeah.
How about you? How long you been in it?
Actually, April was 10 years of originating for me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Decade.
Got in. I started on the back end behind the scenes stuff in October of 14. Took my licensing exam and all that. Went to spring training. Got out of spring training and came back and started doing this.
Cool.
Yeah. So April 15.
Okay. And how old are you?
37.
37.
So.
Well, have you ever had a job that really sucked and taught you something that you still use today?
Yeah, Jimmy John's job sucked.
Yeah,
that job was not fun.
Because as a manager, you didn't want to do.
Yeah, you got to get there like 3:45. Because I mean, when they say everything's fresh, it's fresh. So they're not BSing you. I mean, you got to get up there like 3:45, 4 in the morning.
Baking bread,
slicing everything for that day: tomatoes, lettuce, pickles, everything, onions. That talking about when did you know you didn't want to do a 9 to 5? That was it. I mean, that 6 months was like so miserable for me, man. You know, I was 22, 23 years old, so I didn't know a whole lot else, but I knew I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I haven't had a ton of jobs, I guess. You know, I worked at that place.
Where'd you work? You said you managed a restaurant in college.
It's called Wing Zone.
Okay.
Wing Zone.
Sports bar kind of deal.
No, we didn't have like serve alcohol. It wasn't like a huge dine-in area. It was right off University of Louisville campus. We did a ton of like deliveries and people ordered in, picking up. Yeah, wings, chicken sandwiches, burgers, that kind of stuff. We did that through college. Went and did the Jimmy John's deal. Worked at a office supply deal in the off season when I was doing my landscaping stuff. That's it, man. I mean, I all I know is hardscape for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I mean that's what I've been in for most of my adult life.
Well, when you filled out the form, you told us your nickname is Sloppy. Where'd that come from?
Sloppy Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it comes from other stuff, but I don't know if that's good for on air. But
hey, why not?
No, I mean, I've had the same group of like 20 dude friends since I was like 6th grade. We call ourselves the Gurus. Love my guys, man. But most of them are in Kentucky. Some of us are spread out. I got some in Florida, Texas. You know, there's a few of us stragglers out there. But we all had we all had nicknames.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, Sloppy Joe.
That makes sense
with me,
right.
But yeah, it's So yeah, I mean, get on my group chain. They don't come. They don't. Nobody calls me Joe or Frankie. It's all
Sloppy.
Yeah, hey Sloppy. Yeah, which is embarrassing to say to anybody who's not in the group that doesn't know our group. But yeah, they also call me that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I got buddies and we do something similar. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Well,
get
you
it.
can, yeah. For me, it's like you'll know what group of friends I'm around by the nickname that they call me. Because
Yeah.
like my friends from high school call me something different than my friends from hockey or baseball or from pro ball in college. Like college, I mean, I had so many different nicknames in college, but yeah, one of them we had to kind of scrap because it's not. Yeah, they used to call me Pedo.
Pat Doyle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but now can't really call people pedos.
that's frowned upon.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we were down there last year, down at school last year for our coach's retirement. We're all in the field, and my buddy's like, "Hey, pedo," and like kids running everywhere. All of a sudden, you see these parents just stop, and they're like, "What did you? What?" I'm like, dude.
My
You
last
can't-
name is Pat Doyle.
You
Pat Doyle.
can't
Pat Doyle.
call me that. That name is gone. That is no longer a nickname that you're allowed to use
Yeah,
in today's society.
that has
Because
expired.
it was like Pat Doyle or like every once in a while like Pillsbury Doughboy. Like I was
Yeah.
kind of chunky, but yeah. But that's what it stood for. But yeah, now that just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah,
Doesn't
It
work.
just makes
Yeah.
things
Not
very
Not a good look.
very awkward,
Especially at a ballpark.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, not a good look.
Right, and the guy that said it is a superintendent of a school district down there, and I'm just like, dude, come on, like,
Yeah, you think he'd know?
yeah, like let's think about
Think
this
this
real
through.
quick.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but let's. I mean, in the questionnaire, you talk a lot about your why. What is your why?
My family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, which I think, for most people who have kids and a wife, I think could probably say the same thing. We all look at wealth in different ways. Some people go in business to make money, financial. Some people go in the business to have freedom, flexibility. Maybe not right now, 5-6 years into me being the owner of Big Bend Landscaping. We got future plans to kind of spread out and do some other stuff too. But long term, it's flexibility for me. Once, like right now, my oldest, you connected me with Tony, for batting lessons for Lucas. I don't want to miss that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And right now I only have one in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got three of them in there. I want that flexibility.
Yeah.
And, for sure, with more money comes more freedom, flexibility.
Sure.
But more so than the money is the flexibility. Another member up here, Matt Scarin, we talk about our why a lot. And me and him kind of on the same page same page on this is that I want to positively impact as many people as I can. A girl I went to high school with, she's very successful now. She owns salons all over. She does something called PIPN, P-I-P-N, positively impacting people. And like she runs things through it, like they do all kinds of stuff to positively impact people. And I think that's what I want to get to. I want to positively impact as many people as I can. And I don't have tons of strengths. You know what I mean? I'm not some wordsmith where I can go, I'll get on stage and talk to people. I'm not, whatever. But with what I have, I want to touch as many people as I can. One thing I pride myself on in our team on at Big Bend is everybody that we've come in contact with that's come work for us, their life's gotten better. And nobody's left. In 6 years, we brought people with us from the old company, but anybody that's came to us at Big Bend, their life's gotten better. And they've not left. I've not lost anybody.
Wow.
That's
No,
incredible.
that's
in
saying
6
something,
years.
man.
Yeah.
That's
So,
incredible.
Yeah. So back to the question, freedom, flexibility. That's most important for me. I want to do all that stuff with my kids. I don't want to miss anything. I want to be the dad that's showing up halfway through the game. I want to give them every chance to do whatever they want to do in life.
Yeah, I think it's every good parent's goal that their kids turn out better than them.
Yeah.
That's always that's what I want.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as they're better than I am.
Yeah. And confidence is built at a young age,
Oh, for sure.
and when I say confident, I don't mean, douchey,
Yeah.
Right.
You ain't got to be boastful, but being confident, talk about mental health with men,
Mm.
confidence is a big part of that.
Yeah.
And again, it's not It's being just comfortable who you are, finding your niche. I want my kids to try all kinds of stuff so they find their niche and they're confident, comfortable. So, whatever that is.
Yeah. Could be different. It's going to be different for every one of them.
Yeah.
And like, I know I'm a lot different than my brother, and like, I'm different than my parent, like we all have our own kind of ways of doing things, and it's just got to find your right path. Yeah. These, so many, it's just having the ability, there's so many options today. Like, I feel like we have we have so many opportunities to give our kids that like, I want to give my kids so many opportunities that I wasn't given.
Sure.
Like, I mean, and I'm not saying like I did not grow up poor or anything. My parents gave me a great life. I was able to do, pretty much anything I wanted, but, I want to be able to give them, that same luxury and that same, opportunity that I got, and
sure,
even more if possible.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody wants more for their kids.
Absolutely. Yeah. Same here. I mean, I don't have any complaints.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I never went hungry.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Right.
I went to private school my whole life. Like I grew up. We were in a good spot.
Sure.
I can't lie and say I came from nothing.
Right.
I'm not one of those guys. Like,
No.
I grew up very comfortable living my whole life, and I'm forever grateful to my parents for giving me such a great life.
For sure.
It's like I do want to give my kids more than what I had. It's just like it's just the natural progression of things.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I don't either.
Oh.
I do anything for my kids. Like, it's just like my parents, they afforded me every opportunity to succeed. So I'm going to do the same. I want to do the same for my kids and let them try everything. Everybody just assumes that I'm going to push them to baseball. That's not the case. My oldest loves baseball, so I'm going to let him play it. My youngest, not so much. So if he doesn't want to play, I'm not going to play. So,
yeah. Well, I think that's a progression of you as a man. I bet if you asked yourself that 15, 17 years ago, you're like, no, my boy's going to play baseball.
Yeah.
What I mean? Like I would have 20 years ago.
Well, looking back on it, not real, because I was always pretty aware, just back then, because you see all these parents, because I went through it with my dad with hockey. Like, hockey was my first love. Loved playing hockey. I still play hockey to this day. And, there was always an added pressure because he played and I was really good at it, and he was wanting me to excel at that because that was a sport he knew.
Got it.
He didn't know shit about baseball, and that's the sport that I really excelled at. And I saw that correlation early. Like, I kind of got burnt out from hockey coming up through high school, but then, baseball took over, and I made that decision just to switch to it. But I never got burnt down on baseball. Just because I didn't have that pressure.
I was going to say, you think you went that way because there's less pressure?
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't hounding you as much on it?
Yeah, the only person that was pushing me was my coach.
Yeah.
And the people that they trusted to get me better, because they didn't know shit about baseball.
Yeah.
My dad would come to our games and fall asleep in the outfield because baseball, he was boring. He hated watching baseball. They're boring. I'm the same way. I hate watching baseball. It's boring. I'll play it. It's great. It's fun to play when you're actually playing it. But watching it, I went to a game this past weekend, and I think I watched maybe a total of 5 pitches. And I just sat there and talked to my buddy's dad the entire time.
It's the atmosphere of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But, but that was the thing. Like, there was no pressure. So I knew in the moment, because even like coaching, parents will ask me like, wow, what was it that you did? What did your parents do to help you succeed? And I'm like, they just afforded me the opportunity to get better.
Sure.
They knew that I wanted to get better, and they never pushed me to get better.
Yeah.
They knew what my goals were. They would just ask me, if those were still my goals, if they saw me getting lazy, and I had to answer for myself, which is what I want to do for my kids. But I knew that from a young age that I'd never push my kids in anything.
Yeah. You don't want to be an umbrella dad.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, I'm with you there.
You see it. And shit, 5 and 6 year old coach pitch, machine pitch baseball. Like,
I'm 7 right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's dads out there. It's like, good night.
Yeah, I was sitting back laughing.
Not going pro next year.
You guys don't know shit. I was like, man, nobody gave a shit about how good I was. It's like, I didn't even play at 7. I didn't start playing until I was 8. Like, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about your little league record.
No
one gives a shit about your high school record.
Yeah. That's what I tell my wife all the time. She's like, you want to coach? I'm like, no, I don't. Not right now. I'm like, maybe when they get like 10, 11. But right now, it's I want him to go have fun.
Yeah.
I want to see if he even likes it first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which he does, But, yeah, it's you're not doing, especially kids at that age, in my opinion, sub 12, 11 years old, anything younger than that, if you're out there like, come on, you're not doing anything good for them.
No, it's not going to help.
No.
No, and that's the thing too, is like, I play the highest possible level you could play at in baseball, except being a big leaguer. And my kids don't listen to me. Like, why would I want to coach them? They're not going to listen to me. Like, you know, like
The last person.
Yeah, they'll just be like, Dad, I just want you to throw to me. Quit telling me what to do. I'm like, fine. You know what? That's fine. You're right.
I only do this professionally.
I'm like, I'm not your coach. I'm not your coach. You asked me to help you with pitching. I gave you my 2 cents. I kind of know a little bit about it, but you know what? I'm going to call Uncle Lance. We'll get you into lessons with him.
I literally know more than anybody else you know.
I will get you in. I'll get you into lessons with my old coach, and he can have you.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, Dad, I know what I'm. You don't have to tell me that.
I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. That's fine.
Lucas he's big into baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah.
You know, it's baseball season. So like every day he gets home from school. We can throw with me. We can throw with me every single day, which is awesome.
Yeah,
you know,
so
it's great.
cool.
But we got in one of those nets where you throw it and bounces
Bounce
back.
back,
Yeah. A year and a half ago. So I'm like, go out there. It's the same thing. His mom told, his mom, my wife, played college softball. So she loves the game too.
Sure.
But we both tell him, go out there and throw by yourself for 15 minutes. And then if you still want to throw, we'll throw with you. Like you put in the work first. And then if you want to throw, we'll come out. I mean, he does it. Now, how long is he going to do that for? I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, being an umbrella dad, umbrella parent, hounding your kid at that age, there's no benefit. In my opinion.
Yeah, you never make your kid love something, but you can make him hate
Hate it.
something.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so it's like that's something I'm really into, grappling sports like wrestling, jiu-jitsu. It's like I really want to get my boys into it, but like I don't want to push them too hard,
Yeah,
So
you don't want to deter them.
Yeah, exactly.
So early.
I want them to like it.
Right.
I want them to do it if it's something they want to do. Obviously, like, and I think hopefully they'll, learn from seeing me do it, and like, hopefully come to the gym when they're a little bit older and kind of seeing what it's really all about, and and then eventually, introduce them to some kids classes eventually, and like, if you like it, we'll keep doing it. If you don't, no big deal.
Yeah,
give me my thing, whatever.
Kids will follow you. They're gonna always want to do what mom and dad does, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you have to like give them that extra push.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they're seeing you out there staying in good shape and all that, they're gonna naturally, in my opinion, want to kind of do the same things.
Mm-hmm. I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, my junior, I'll take him to work with me. It's like, I'm in Hardscaping. We have machines and all that. That's like his thing.
Oh, dude, my kid would lose his mind.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
playing with like going to sit in an excavator or
Oh,
a
I think my-
bulldozer
yeah,
or something.
I think that was my
Like,
son's first word was excavator. Yeah,
Blippy?
fucking watching
Fucking
Blippy.
Blippy.
Yeah, fucking
excavator.
Hey, dirt.
See you later.
Excavator. Yeah. Oh, believe me. That's on repeat in there.
Bro.
But no, I mean, they're going to want to do that.
No.
Yeah, because mommy and daddy do it, So, especially that young, I don't think you got to go out there and like hound them and push them and, you're going to do this because I like it.
Right.
you know?
No, you're not going to, I don't want to be that, like you said, that helicopter or umbrella dad or whatever, like, dude, I just don't, and if they wanted me to coach them, I would, but I have a feeling we're going to run into the same, I'd run into the same issue Pat is. They're not going to want to listen to me. So.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'll let somebody else. I know the right people to get them to get them in front of, and I'm gonna let them do that.
Yeah,
and that's really the only sport that I know jack shit about. So I'm open to whatever.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like we've had a few coaches in here, and they're like on like jiu-jitsu coaches and high level jiu-jitsu guys and MMA fighters, and they're all like talking about gymnastics, and I'm like, you know what? I want to get them into gymnastics. Like
that's body awareness.
Yeah.
And
both my youngest. JJ, even though boy, he goes to gymnastics.
Does he?
Yeah, and it's
Where at?
Olympia.
Down there at Manchester and 141 or whatever.
That was full, so they've been going to the one down in Ellisville.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's like my girl's pretty good at it. I mean, she's just turned 4 and is doing cartwheels and halfway doing back handspring and stuff. But even for JJ, it's
just body awareness.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like his balance and like agility and stuff. It's great. Like he went today. He goes every Wednesday. Yeah, every Wednesday at 10:30 for an hour.
That's awesome.
It's great.
that's awesome. I should probably get my kids into it too.
And JJ's how old?
He'll be 3 in June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been doing it for 6 months.
Okay.
My daughter's been doing it about a year and 6 months.
Yeah, we took Connor when he was younger, Ollie for a little bit down in Fenton. There was like a kids gymnastics place down there. But yeah, Connor loved it. Oliver was not a fan of it.
Yeah.
My aunt owns a gymnastics gym. I just need to get them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good for him.
Oh, yeah. I do
It's the
too.
same thing at a young age, like they're listening to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because you can watch them up on the screen if you're there.
Right.
And, they're making them stand in line. Hey, wait your turn.
Mm-hmm.
They're hearing it from somebody else.
Yeah.
I think that's big. We're not the only one hounding them to do that, Oh, maybe this is the right thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we do. We go to a thing called Kids Strong, It's over there in Creve Coeur. It's kind of like a gymnastics class now that I think about it. And it's, I mean, like they do all sorts of different like obstacle courses and like climbing ropes and doing pull-ups. And it's like kind of like a little CrossFit class for like kids.
Yeah,
they're
that's
like,
cool.
they're bear crawling, they're doing somersaults, they're, jumping off boxes. Like the whole thing's like matted out like a wrestling room or something. They have these big like boxes and they'll jump off them. And, he's gotten a lot more like confidence and stuff from that, which has been pretty cool. And like, first thing you do is everybody's got to go up and shake the coach's hand, look him in the eye, shake him in the hand, and ask him their name. And, it's like stuff like that they do. And then like every day there's like a little assignment that they do, or like they have to like do public speaking, where they got to go stand up in front of everybody and like say what their favorite animal is or something. Like it's just like
Just
a
get some
cool little like,
get them out of their comfort zone.
It's been really cool.
Yeah.
I think he really enjoys going. And,
is it like a weekly thing?
Yeah. Once a week.
That's
yeah,
cool.
we can do more, but we just do the once a week right now. But yeah, it's been really cool. He likes it a lot.
Kids strong.
Kids strong. Yeah.
I have to look into that for.
Yeah. Me and my wife are saying, man, we'd love to like get a franchise of it, just because like I think there's the only one around here is the one in Creve Coeur. Like, man, if we got something like, like South County or like Arnold or something like that, I feel like it would like, far enough away that I think it would do pretty well.
Yeah.
But we were talking about that the other day. I was like, man, this is like it's a really cool, like you go in there and it's like so organized and like very, like coaches are very like really good with all the kids and stuff. It's been really cool.
Well thought out.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine are a little past that.
Yeah,
age.
a little past. Yeah, I would say yours are a little past that probably.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I don't really know, but yeah.
We'll go see Junior.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, we just had Junior in here. I think you should
definitely get him up there.
Go check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
See if they like it, especially Oliver.
I know. I think Oliver's gonna love it. Like I was showing him some of those triangle moves that we learned last week. It's like how to choke each other out, and that's what they next thing you know, they're like trying to choke each other out with their legs. I was like, yeah,
that's what we tell you.
That's why we learn it.
All right, cool.
So no, it was fun to get them into that for sure. I think I just think I used like we've talked about. It's like jiu-jitsu is one of the hardest things that we do. I mean, you get done with a jiu-jitsu class and you're fucking dead.
Oh, I saw y'all's pictures. Yeah, y'all were soaked.
Yeah. And so
It's just a normal day.
Yeah. And so coming after like there's just the things that the discipline you learn from it, the confidence that you get from it, like that's something that
humility you get from it.
Humility for sure. But also like you always say, having that white belt mentality where you're always looking to learn.
Even like Junior was talking about our coach Kyle, like him, he's just like, even someone who's been doing it for 20 plus years, he's still like always trying to learn something new. And it's like you can have that mentality with everything in life, like sure, yeah, you've been doing hardscape for 13 years, but like I'm sure there's some shit that you haven't done yet, or like some shit that you're not like, oh, I'm not an expert in this yet.
Oh,
but like,
for sure.
Like
he said it, just always be learning.
Yeah. So it's like there's always more to learn no matter what industry you're in. Like, I mean, I've been doing real estate for 6 years. I've learned stuff almost every day.
I think that's what's great about our industry is that it's always changing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always having to stay up and learn things. I mean, I always usually try to spend the first hour of my day trying to learn something new within the business. So
yeah, sure. Well, let's talk Kentucky a little bit. Like, so you grew up there. What's the culture like there compared to St. Louis?
It's so I'm from Louisville, so it's I'm not in like from like out in the middle of nowhere, but so it's the culture is very similar. I think it's a little more small town feel, a little more, I'm gonna hold the door open for you type vibe. But it's similar. It's a small, like Louisville's a small St. Louis. I mean, it's almost laid out identically. It's kind of weird,
really,
with the highways and everything. 170 and 270. We got Gene Snyder, Watterson out there. But yeah, I say for the most part, it's very similar. A little more southern charm to it. Sure. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
But it's changed a lot. I mean, I go back now. So Hardscape North America, like in my world, that's the big convention every year.
Okay.
Like people all over the U.S. go to H&A, Hardscape North America. Well, it's in Louisville every year.
Ah, okay.
That's cool.
Second week of October. So, we go back every year. My reps and, my competitors who I've gotten close with, we all go and, stay a few days down there, go to the conventions and seminars and all that. And they're like, well, like this past year, well, Joe, you lead the way. Tell us where to go. I'm like, dude, I don't know where anything is anymore. Because it's grown up. Like everything that was there 9-10 years ago when I was there is not there anymore.
Wow.
Like Louisville's gotten a lot bigger.
Were you a Bats fan?
I wouldn't say I was a Bats fan, but I went to a lot of games.
Did
Yeah, it was the Redbirds back in the day. That was the Cardinals AAA team.
Yeah, and then they went to Memphis, and the Reds moved.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where they were when I played for them.
Like they had like Dimitri Young, and I mean the Bennis brothers came up through Louisville. Deion Sanders played for the Bats back in the day. Yeah, so it's not like a big draw by any means. You know what I mean? Kentucky is a big basketball state. Basketball is like everything. We don't have any professional teams.
Yeah, shit. Louisville and University of Kentucky.
Oh yeah, Louisville and Kentucky, man. It's like
they're only what, an hour apart, something like that?
Yeah, about hour 10, hour 15, not far. Louisville and Lexington. But yeah, no, people live and die that stuff there. Man. It's bad.
I got a funny story about that when I was in high school. So we played ball, and we were there in town. It was the Kentucky football game. This would have been this was the fall of 06? No, fall of 05. That was my senior year, fall of 05. And so we were down there for baseball tournament at Louisville. They were playing at Kentucky. And so a couple of us got a brilliant idea to steal one of the parents' vans and drive from Louisville to Lexington.
Wow.
For the just a party there. So yeah, so we got this guy to steal his mom's car keys for her minivan. We took out all of the seats, so like 10 of us could fit in the back of this, and we're all just sitting on the ground in the back of this, and got some beer. We're sitting there driving all the way to Lexington.
Hour 15
while this
drive.
guy's driving a car, but like we didn't know what to do with the chairs, so we just like hit them in the bushes.
Oh my god!
At the hotel.
Yeah, at the hotel.
Oh my god!
It's ballsy, man.
Yeah, and needless to say, we made the hour and 10 minute drive to Lexington. Got there, started driving around to find all the parties, just to realize like there were no parties going on, and so we just ended up turning around and driving right back.
Driving right back.
Yeah,
that's ballsy. How old were you?
We were 16, 17, a couple 18-year-olds. Yeah.
How far did y'all get before they realized their van was gone?
Yeah.
We went there and back. I mean, if they listen to this now, this might be the first time they know that we stole
sitting up
the
in the
van.
hotel room.
They came back. The chairs are still there.
Well, I mean, we left at like 10 o'clock at night. Like we were like, we gotta sneak out and we gotta do this right. And so like I had just pitched that day, so I'm like, I'm done. Like I'm not doing shit the rest of this trip. I'm gonna have a good time. And so we got in there. We hopped in the car, made a couple pit stops along the way, but yeah, we were just driving, came back, and yeah, luckily, I don't think we ever got caught. No one ever said anything about the car. No one stole any of the seats. That was kind of like our biggest fear. Like, oh, dude, what if someone steals the seats?
Then they're gonna know. Yeah, we can't explain that.
To the seat.
Yeah.
Oh man,
the car's here, but all the seats are gone.
Yeah, what the hell, guys? I don't know. I was in bed.
You must have left it unlocked. You haven't heard of that?
Jeez,
people have been reselling seats, car seats,
high commodity,
minivan seats.
Thank God they didn't have like ring cameras and stuff like
God.
that. Yeah, because talking about, I never stole it and drove across like hours away like you guys did, but yeah, we used to sneak my parents' car out. I used to take the cordless phone, jump out my window, and I'd meet you at the stop sign. Go down there with the car. But ring cameras and all that kind of stuff now. Yeah. Gosh,
all the time I snuck out of my parents' house, like there's no ring cameras, or like you just.
Well, and shit too. Now look at like all social media. Like there's a lot of shit that we did in college that we would not be able to get away with today.
Oh, no way. With everybody. I mean, when I was in college, everybody had a phone. Yeah,
the iPhone came out my sophomore year of college.
Okay. Yeah, but not everybody like had it.
No.
Yeah.
I knew one person, Ross.
Yeah.
Ross had just gotten drafted, was a first-round draft pick, and that was his status. Like, dude, Ross has got an iPhone. Yeah. First rounders get iPhones.
Yeah, because I got my first iPhone at 16. I graduated grade school in 07. So iPhones have been out, 2 years by the time I got my first one. But that was like the time like everybody like kind of had one.
Yeah, my first smartphone
didn't take very long.
Yeah, my first smartphone was a BlackBerry.
I had the Trio.
Did you?
You remember the Trios?
Yeah.
I used to think that was the coolest thing ever.
Oh yeah. The BlackBerry.
Yeah, with the little ball on it.
Oh
yeah.
God.
Remember that game you'd play where I forget what it's called, like the ball would bounce, you had to move the little platform around,
Oh yeah.
Oh dude, yeah, that was addicting.
Brick Breaker.
Yeah.
Brick Breaker. Yeah, dude, I used to play that all the time because I never had a BlackBerry, but one of my buddies did. play it on his.
Dude, they were onto something. BlackBerry really fucked that one up.
Oh yeah.
Like, no, those were great. That
But
was.
I remember when the iPhone came, everybody was like, "Oh man, I don't like not having buttons."
Right.
Now it's like, bro, if you don't have any buttons on your phone now, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
we're way off.
Yeah. So no, so I didn't get my first iPhone. I always had Galaxy, like or Samsung's Androids, up until was that 2015, 14, yeah, 14 maybe, because all my buddies had iPhones and I had the Android, and whenever we were in a group chat, it would come across as like a multimedia message.
Right.
And so I had to like download every text message. These assholes, we'd be out, like they're like, they knew if they sent enough that my phone would overheat and shut off. And so like I was out on a date one time and these assholes are just sending me the alphabet, like A, B, C, D, E, like just single text. A, next one's B, next one's C, just constant. My phone is in my pocket, just buzzing. I'm like, pull it out and I got 100 fucking multimedia messages. I'm like,
Your phone's on fire.
I go to start downloading it, it just turns off and it never turned back on. So I'm like, fuck, I guess I got to get an iPhone now.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
Can't
first
beat
one
them,
going.
join them.
Yeah. Well, now I can't imagine
color
going
ones.
back.
No, I know this thing's fucking.
I run my whole life on this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember when I had to get the new one every 2 years when my contract was up to get a new one. I've had this thing for 4 years and I don't want to get a new one.
No,
the process of going through and updating and getting everything, logging back into your system.
Dude, going into a Verizon store or AT&T store.
Oh God.
Talking about, there's not a whole lot of things in life anymore that give me anxiety. That gives me anxiety, man.
Oh.
Going in there, I'm
hate
like,
that.
God, I'm gonna be here for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like 2 hours of your life and everything. Just give me the phone.
Same thing like going to a DMV.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Same, man.
And every single time it's like, well, did you bring this, and I've got, I thought I only needed 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
No, you need all of them. I'm like,
Can you
And
look in the
this is
system?
after you waited an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Look at the system. I had the same stuff 2 years ago.
right, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Literally
just need a new sticker.
Literally
Okay.
the same person.
Just give me a new sticker. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to do that. I had to renew my license about a month ago, and it was fucking 2 hours of waiting. And thankfully, I brought everything I needed with me. But
I gotta do that in
but
June.
dude, just
The trick.
fuck.
The one down by my office in Imperial.
Yeah, you told me this
DMV.
little trick a little too late.
Yeah, that DMV, and then I heard the one in Ellisville is pretty good. Over by like, what's that big social place over there? The
Dogwood.
I heard the DMV over
Like
that
across
way.
the street.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh no, they're lying to you.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one I go to.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Now I
Indeed.
recently.
I heard that it was
Yeah.
really nice. I heard that it was.
Well, maybe it is now because they opened another one out actually a little closer to my house off Clayton,
Mhm.
Baxter and Clayton right there.
Yeah.
So then maybe that like divided it up.
Gotcha.
So maybe that one's not as bad now, but it used to be a nightmare because that's where I used to have to go, and that's one of the places that gave me anxiety. Was that place?
Well, no, you're talking about the one right there, where by Fit Flavors.
Yeah.
No, there's another one.
That's the Flip Flavors is the new one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's not bad.
No,
I don't have any issues with that. I haven't had any issues there.
Mm-mm.
But I know I never have any issues down in Imperial. Like, there's no one ever there.
You have to go. I guess there's no rule. You don't have to go to like a certain one, do you?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, as long
As long as it's in Missouri.
yeah. So, but no, but if I'm down there, I'm like, yep, I'll just go to this one.
Yeah.
But if I'm like one on Clayton and Baxter's right down the street from where I live, so makes it easy.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Well, easy's better because that trip every other year sucks.
yeah. Well, I'm surprised. Like, how do they not streamline that shit? Like,
How can you do it on
like-
a computer? Now?
right.
Yeah,
Or-
why can't it all be done online?
Yeah.
Makes
Or
sense.
right, exactly. Or let's you got to set an appointment to come in.
Sure.
Like, not just don't all set up. Like, and you get an appointment time. Like, you just
Yeah.
have to show up for your appointment time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't need to do this like a deli where I got to go
Yeah.
up and grab the number.
Right.
Yeah, which is exactly
It's
how it is.
exactly how it is.
You sit there for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's fucking miserable. Like last time, I literally just like walked laps in the parking lot just because I couldn't stand sitting in that building anymore. I was like, all right, well, I know I got a while before I'm up. So, and I'm gonna get a text when I'm like next in line.
Yeah.
So I was
At
like,
least gotta
I'm
get
just
my steps in.
I was like, well, I mean, I was like, just put headphones in, just listen to a podcast, just walk laps around the parking lot. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, I just can't sit in this building with everybody.
Oh,
I don't know,
yeah,
just
with
like,
30 other people.
yeah,
Yeah.
like shoulder to shoulder with someone. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna do this for an hour. I'm gonna at least go walk around and just like kill time. Yeah,
It's
but,
not fun. I gotta do it in
not fun at
June.
all.
Not
No.
looking forward to it.
It sucks. Joe's was awesome having you in here, man.
Yeah, man.
It's cool
Yeah,
to hear your
appreciate y'all having
story, and it's been a lot of fun. Is there anything you want to bring to light before we get you out of here?
No, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's
Awesome.
cool setup. Looking forward to the new picture.
Yeah.
I'll show you when we get off here. It's pretty funny.
Is it?
Yeah. But we like to end it with one last question. Play a little game called the Tombstone Game. All right. Here lies Joe. What do you want to say on your tombstone?
He was a good dude. You know, I talked to some other people about this somewhat recently, man. And, you know, they asked if you walked in a room, what do you want somebody to say about you? Hey, he's a good dude. That's it. You know, I don't think God put me here to change lives. I think He put me here to plant seeds. I just want to be a good dude. If everybody just looks at me and say, "Oh yeah, you know Joe Francke, yeah, good dude," that's all I care about.
I think I've said that a few times about you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
You're a good dude.
Yeah.
You're a good dude.
Well, thanks again, man. And thanks to everybody watching at home. If you could click that subscribe button for us if you haven't done so already, that would help us out a ton. Click that like button as well. Comment what you thought below, and we will see you next time.